Life has a funny way of teaching us its most valuable lessons when we least expect it. As an 80-year-old man with a lifetime of experiences, I've learned that retirement isn't about filling every moment with social calls. It's about rediscovering yourself, finding peace in solitude, and cherishing the quiet moments that life has to offer. Let me share with you 8 profound reasons why limiting your social visits after retirement might be the wisest decision you'll make. 1. The art of preserving energy. As we age, our energy becomes a precious resource, like a fine wine to be savored, not guzzled. Each social visit takes a little sip from our energy reserves. In my younger days, I'd hop from one friend's house to another, thinking I was living life to the fullest. But by the end of the week, I'd be exhausted and wondering where all my time had gone. Our bodies and minds change as we age. What once invigorated us can now leave us feeling depleted. It's not just about physical tiredness, it's mental and emotional fatigue too. A simple afternoon tea that once left you refreshed might now require a full day's recovery. That's not a sign of weakness. It's a natural part of aging that we need to respect and adapt to. When we learn to conserve our energy, we can channel it into activities that truly bring us joy and fulfillment. Maybe it's spending quality time with a few close friends rather than trying to maintain a large social circle. Perhaps it's dedicating more time to a hobby you've always wanted to pursue. Or it could be simply enjoying moments of peace and quiet, recharging your batteries in solitude. By being selective about my social engagements, I enjoy them more deeply. When I do visit friends or family, I'm more present, more engaged, and more appreciative of the time we spend together. It's like the difference between sipping a fine wine and gulping down cheap punch. Both might be alcohol, but the experience is worlds apart. 2. The joy of rediscovering yourself. Retirement offers us a golden opportunity to rediscover who we are beyond our careers and social roles. It's a chance to explore our passions, to delve into hobbies we never had time for, to learn new skills just for the joy of learning. But if we're constantly running around visiting others, we rob ourselves of this precious opportunity for self-discovery. When I finally gave myself permission to spend more time alone, I rediscovered parts of myself that had been dormant for years. I picked up painting again, started writing poetry, and even learned to play the ukulele. These solitary pursuits brought me joy and fulfillment I hadn't experienced in years. But it wasn't just about hobbies. I also found myself reflecting on my life, my values, my beliefs. Without the constant chatter of social interactions, I could hear my own thoughts more clearly. I began to understand myself better, my motivations, my fears, my dreams. This self-awareness has made me more content, more at peace with myself and the world around me. This journey of self-discovery has actually enhanced my relationships. When I do spend time with others, I bring a fuller, more authentic version of myself to the interaction. I have more interesting things to talk about, more insights to share. I'm no longer dependent on others for my happiness or sense of self-worth. 3. The wisdom in avoiding drama. Drama often thrives on frequent social interactions. The more we visit, the more we talk, the more likely we are to stumble into misunderstandings, hurt feelings, or full-blown conflicts. At our age, we don't need that kind of stress in our lives. As we age, we often become more set in our ways, more sensitive to perceived slights, and perhaps a bit quicker to take offense. This can make social interactions a bit of a minefield if we're not careful. Moreover, in retirement, we often find ourselves with more time on our hands. which can lead to overthinking social interactions or getting overly involved in other people's affairs. I remember a time when I visited a friend and made an offhand comment about his new curtains. Little did I know, his wife had picked them out and was particularly proud of them. My innocent remark sparked a week-long cold war between them, with me caught in the middle. That's when I realized sometimes less is more when it comes to social visits. By limiting our social visits, we naturally reduce the opportunities for misunderstandings and conflicts. We give ourselves less chance to say the wrong thing, less opportunity to be drawn into others' disputes, and less exposure to the kind of gossip and negativity that often fuels drama. This doesn't mean cutting ourselves off from friends and loved ones. It means being more mindful of our social engagements. Quality over quantity, my friends. A few meaningful interactions are worth far more than a dozen superficial visits. 4. The freedom from social obligations. Sometimes social visits feel more like obligations than enjoyments. In our younger years, we often felt compelled to attend every gathering, worried about what others might think if we didn't show up. But retirement is our time to break free from these self-imposed chains. I remember feeling guilty every time I turned down an invitation. I'd make up excuses, claiming I was busy when really, I just wanted to stay home and read a good book. It took me years to realize that it's okay to say no without feeling guilty. By limiting our social visits, we free ourselves from the tyranny of constant social obligations. We create space in our lives for spontaneity, for rest, for pursuits that truly bring us joy. We give ourselves permission to prioritize our own needs and desires. This doesn't mean becoming selfish or isolating ourselves. It's about being intentional with our time and energy. It's about recognizing that our time is valuable, and we get to choose how we spend it. When we free ourselves from excessive social obligations, we often find that our relationships improve. The time we do spend with others becomes more meaningful, more enjoyable. We're there because we want to be, not because we feel we have to be. True friends will understand if you can't make it to every event. They'll respect your need for personal time. And if they don't, well, perhaps it's time to reevaluate that relationship. 5. The blessing of financial prudence. Even in retirement, finances matter, and frequent social visits can take a surprising toll on our wallets. Every visit often involves some form of expense, bringing a gift, transportation costs, eating out, or engaging in activities that cost money. I remember a phase when I was visiting friends almost daily. It seemed harmless at first, but when I sat down to review my monthly expenses, I was shocked. The small costs had added up to a significant sum money that could have been better spent on my grandchildren's education fund or my own health care needs. In retirement, we're often living on a fixed income. Every dollar spent needs to be considered carefully. It's not about being miserly. It's about being wise with our resources so we can enjoy our retirement to the fullest. By limiting our social visits, we can better control our expenses. We can be more selective about where and how we spend our money. Instead of small, frequent expenses that add up over time, we can choose to invest in experiences that truly matter to us. Consider this. By saving on frequent, less meaningful visits, you might be able to afford that dream vacation you've always wanted to take. Or you could invest in a hobby that brings you joy every single day. Maybe you could increase your contributions to your grandchildren's college funds, leaving a lasting legacy. 6. The gift of time for family. In our rush to maintain social connections, we sometimes forget that the most important relationships are often right under our own roof. Retirement offers us a unique opportunity to strengthen our family bonds. It's a chance to really get to know our children as adults, to be present in our grandchildren's lives, to rediscover the joy of companionship with our spouses. When we limit our social visits, we create space for deeper family connections. We have the time to really listen to our children, to understand their adult lives, their struggles, and their triumphs. We can offer the wisdom of our years without feeling rushed or distracted. With our grandchildren, we can be more than just the grandparent who shows up on holidays with gifts. We can be mentors, confidants, and playmates. We can share our stories, pass on our values, and create lasting memories. These are the moments that shape a family's legacy. And let's not forget our spouses. After years of juggling careers and family responsibilities, retirement is a chance to rediscover each other. It's an opportunity to cultivate shared interests, to enjoy quiet moments together, to support each other in new adventures. Remember, at the end of our days, it's unlikely we'll wish we had spent more time at social gatherings. But we might very well wish we had spent more time with our loved ones. 7. The peace in embracing solitude. In our society, there's often a stigma attached to being alone. We worry that it means we're lonely, unliked, or somehow lacking. But solitude can be one of life's greatest pleasures, if we learn to embrace it. I remember the day I truly embraced solitude. I was sitting in my backyard, watching the birds at my feeder. There was no one around, no TV blaring, no phone ringing. Just me and nature. And in that moment, I felt a sense of contentment wash over me that I had never experienced before. Solitude offers us a chance to recharge, to process our thoughts and feelings, to connect with ourselves on a deeper level. In the constant buzz of social interaction, we often lose touch with our inner voice. Solitude allows us to hear it again, to understand our true desires and needs. Moreover, solitude can enhance our creativity and problem-solving skills. When we're alone, our minds are free to wander, to make unexpected connections, to come up with novel ideas. Some of the world's greatest inventions and artistic masterpieces were born in moments of solitude. Embracing solitude doesn't mean becoming a hermit. It's about finding a balance between social interaction and alone time. It's about recognizing that both are essential for our well-being, and that one enhances the other. 8. The importance of setting boundaries. When we retire, people often assume we have all the time in the world. They might drop by unannounced, call at all hours, or expect us to be always available. And if we've been social butterflies all our lives, we might feel obligated to meet these expectations. But retirement is our time. We've earned the right to spend it as we see fit. And that means learning to set and enforce boundaries. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about creating a structure that allows you to maintain healthy relationships while also taking care of yourself. For instance, you might decide that mornings are your time for personal activities and you're only available for social calls in the afternoon. Or you might choose to limit your volunteer commitments to 1 or 2 organizations rather than saying yes to every request. I learned this lesson the hard way. In my early retirement years, I was the go-to babysitter, the always available friend, the neighborhood handyman. I thought I was being helpful, but in reality, I was stretching myself thin and neglecting my own needs. Remember, setting boundaries is not selfish, it's self-care. By taking care of your own needs, you ensure that when you do engage with others, you're doing so from a place of genuine desire rather than obligation. This leads to more authentic, enjoyable interactions for everyone involved. Retirement is a gift. It's a chance to redefine ourselves, to explore new passions, to deepen our most meaningful relationships. Don't squander it by trying to maintain the same social whirlwind you had in your younger years. Instead, be selective with your time and energy. Nurture the relationships that truly matter. Discover the joy of solitude. Set boundaries that allow you to live life on your own terms. Remember, it's not about isolating yourself. It's about finding a balance that allows you to truly enjoy this new chapter of your life. So go forth, my friends. Embrace this new phase of life with wisdom and intention. You might just find that by doing less, you experience so much more. Thank you for listening to this old man's ramblings. May your retirement be filled with joy, peace, and just the right amount of social interaction, whatever that means for you. And to all of you watching, thank you for your time. If you found these insights helpful, please hit that subscribe button. It helps us reach more retirees with these important messages. What are your thoughts on retirement socializing? Share in the comments below. Your experiences could help others on their retirement journey. Remember, retirement is not the end, but a new beginning. Let's make it count.